Well, we did it. We've completed the inaugural People's Coast Classic, and it was quite a ride. It was a long ways, torrential downpour today, so we got pretty darn wet. Just to show you how wet we got. Here, come over here. We'll show you the final rankings on the bicycle. It was definitely a wet, soggy day, but in the end, we got 366 miles. We've seen lots of goats so far, including baby goats, and now we're heading down to Hidden Lake. So the trail will follow along this ridge, and you can see some tiny people way out there in the distance. That's where we're going. Today, Jeff and I had planned to hike up to Rattlesnake Point by Rattlesnake Lake, just outside of North Bend, Washington. But instead, this 100-degree weather, we decided not to do that for simple reasons of it's just too cotton-picking hot to go for a hike. So instead, we came out to play at a lake. So for Just South of North.com, I'm Casey Knopik, he's Jeff Hudspeth, and we're the Northern Rangers. We are currently in Cheney, where we're getting ready for the homecoming football game between Montana State and Eastern Washington University. So we're really excited. There's tons of tailgaters out behind us right now. We're going to go interview some of them and just give you the game day experience of what it's like to be out here for an Eastern football game.
Ready for roll week, because we're going to have a lot of fun this year.
8 years ago, Jim Craig noticed that adventure races were happening in surrounding states, but not Nebraska. So he grabbed some friends and gave one a try. From that moment on, he was hooked. Now the race director for the Nebraska Sports Council, Craig says the wintertime race is a great way to avoid cabin fever.
It's just a good way for people to get out of the house, and have a fun time in the winter.
For one day each year, the town of Panama, Nebraska, becomes the home of the adventure race, a race that tests not only a competitor's strength in themselves, but their strength against these elements. There are 3 sections to an adventure race. The competitors must run, bike, and navigate their way through a course.
8, 9, and then decide 5 or 7.
In addition to strategy with the map, each racer had their own way of dealing with the sub-zero wind chill factor that swept across Nebraska on Sunday. For second-time competitor Ryan South, his solution was simple.
It's not so bad once you get numb. You get on the bike, and if you run first, it's a little warmer once you get on the bike, but if you bike first, it's just miserable for a while, and then once you get numbed up and a little warmer, it's okay.
Despite the cold, over 70 competitors took part in the race. To keep things fair, Craig changes the course each year. He says that creativity is a crucial ingredient when designing an adventure race.
If you look at something and you see something like crossing a creek or running somewhere or riding somewhere and you think that that'd be crazy for them to try, or they'd never do it, well, then you put it in.
For Star City News, I'm Casey Knopik. A new study by the Journal of Personality shows Americans are suffering from the O factor: overworked, overwhelmed, and overstressed. Yet the first items dropped from their to-do list may be the best.
When people are stressed, good nutrition and exercise are the 2 things that they tend to think, oh, I don't have time for that.
So it's no surprise the numbers the UNL Rec Center sees around finals time.
It's actually a decrease in activity around finals. Students tend to think they don't have time to work out anymore and kind of forget that exercising is a way to reduce stress, and so it just gets less on the priority list.
Exercise has numerous benefits, especially for studying students.
And it just really does help. It increases blood flow to the brain. I don't think we think about that. Walking, exercising increases blood flow to the brain, so you're able to process things more efficiently.
There are still many students who make sure to leave working out on their schedules.
I try to, but because I work too, if I don't have time, I just try to go at least once or twice or do something at my house, and just to get some kind of physical activity.
Since time is limited, slacking usually isn't seen around the gym.
Overall, I would say students in general are pretty intense. Most often they're doing something, they're multitasking. So if they're doing a cardio machine, they're doing something else on there, either watching TV, listening to iTunes, all those good things, or even studying. So you'll see that oftentimes they'll have their book open and then they're studying.
Another item that is often overlooked is healthy eating habits. But with proper time management, there really is no excuse.
It doesn't really take any more time to plan out meals and to eat in a healthier way.
Look for products that are found on the food pyramid. These types of items will help you make healthier meals. And don't forget, water is a key component of a healthy diet, especially while you're working out.
When you're a college student, you're kind of like a high-performance car, so you want to put high-performance fuel into that system.
And in high-stress times, a plan is a great item to make sure you have time to exercise.
Right now, on my finals, I pretty much know what I have to do in advance, so I can plan ahead, so it shouldn't be too bad to work out during finals week.
So no matter how busy you might be, try to keep exercising on your daily list.
Studies have shown that exercise does help to relieve stress. But what type of exercise is best for you? Well, that really just depends. There's a number of different exercises that could work. But for example, if you're on your feet all day, you might want to try a type of exercise where you're sitting down most of the time, or maybe something along the lines like yoga. Whereas if you're in front of a computer screen all day, you might want to try something where your body's a bit more active, like weightlifting or maybe going for a bike ride. But in the end, it really just depends. It comes down to what you think is the most fun. For Star City News, I'm Casey Knopik.